Guys, welcome back to another episode of Unmotivated. Today we have a special guest. I start listening to I already did listen to The Breakfast Club, and I saw that they had this introduction thing, right? So I'm like, how the fuck do you introduce these people? But I'm not going to write nothing up. We're here with my guy, Carlo, man. Carlo, how you say your last name, man?
Penagos,
Yeah, that one. That one right there. Now, Carlo how old are you, man?
29 now.
Okay, so for one, age is literally nothing but a number, and I hate when people say, "Oh, you're young." Well, I don't want to get old and do none of the things that your ass has done or not achieved. But the beauty about this guy here is, man, I've met him at the gym, and he was working his ass off, literally, and then turn around, and I learned a little bit more about him and his dad and their ventures and the things that they have going on. I said, "Wow, man, this guy's on a mission." And the one thing that I think gives him more leverage than the average person is that his dad built this company and taught him some skills. And those skills, as we've discussed in other episodes, are super leverageable, right? And one of the skills is leadership, management, solving problems, etc. So go ahead and introduce yourselves. Tell me a little bit about what you do, man, and where to follow you at, and then we'll get into the episode.
How's it going? I'm Carlo Penagos. You can follow me at JC Penagos on Instagram. A little bit about me. It's just self-employed, been doing the construction scene for about 10 years, and then got into investment about a year ago and trying to get into multifamily part of investments and stuff like that. We don't do single family homes. We just jumped right into multifamily.
The big ones.
Yep. Everyone who did single family homes said that they had 10 houses, 15 houses, got rid of them all and jumped into multifamily. So I thought that was a smart thing to do, is skip all the baby steps and go straight into the big ones.
So how much money then would you say you need to invest in multifamily?
If you know somebody, I mean, they can start you at $50K.
Okay.
To start.
And what's the biggest investment? I'm clear it's probably unlimited, but like,
Yeah. I mean, they ain't no number.
Ain't no salary cap in the dope game. No, listen. No, for real though. So at 28 years old, how many things have you built? And when did you start doing construction? I won't say full time, because it wasn't just a matter of putting up walls and laying floors and fixing bathrooms. It was like, what did you really start doing when your dad started you in that construction?
I was about 14. I was doing.
Oh, shit.
I was hands on doing all the textures, the paints, and all that. I learned the trade myself. A little bit of everything. I mean, we do roofing, flooring, and everything like that. So, and then I jumped right into it, and then I just learned by however I saw the other guys doing it and stuff like that. So I was just a quick learner. I'm one who I learn by what I see.
Yeah, visual learner.
Yeah, visual learner, and I can mimic it right away. And it's, I mean, not rocket science. I mean, we can do a lot of things whenever you really put your mind to it and go from there.
Okay, so then what would you say is a trick to business? And I got to ask you something. This is going to seem a little prejudiced, but why do Hispanics work in the why is that the thing that you guys do? Now, and I'm asking Carlo that because, again, he started at 14. Clearly, people going to keep building homes. If you have a home, something go wrong in your fucking home at all times.
Fix it ourselves.
Yeah. So for one, he can cut his costs, but even more importantly, he can provide a service. Yeah. So the service industry worldwide is huge. Is fucking huge. Yeah. So when I'm being funny, but at the end of the day, everybody feels good when someone comes and fixes something in their home. Could be the sink, could be a hole in the wall, could be a drip, could be the front door, the garage. Yeah. Something's going to go wrong in a home, for a fact. Yeah. There is no home that is never not needed some help. And at some point, if you get enough money, you'll refinance and want to upgrade the home. Mm-hmm. And then you can come in and do that as well. So why is it something that we'll just say your culture or community, if you would, kind of leans more into?
That's a good question. I mean, in general, that there's a lot of carpenters in the Hispanic community, and everything to do with fixing stuff up. I'm not quite sure on that answer, how to answer that one. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been...
Well, it's a thought though, right?
Yeah.
It's like niggas rap and play football and play sports, so you go...
It's just something they good at. So it's something that we're good at, building shit and bridges and tunnels and whatever they need. Whatever they need, we build.
Shout out to Escobar.
Yeah.
Oh, Pablo, boy.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so now that you started 14, now you said 28, right? 29. What is one of the things that you think has really helped propel you into the success you're starting to achieve? Because at 14, you probably wasn't thinking investments, definitely wasn't thinking fucking, how to take your money and make more money. Or potentially even that you'd really be doing construction long term. But again, your dad built a business,
Yeah.
and the business itself is like, oh, son, you don't have to go do that anymore. Let's make sure let's get teams of people. Let's go get contracts. Let's
Yeah.
sell this. Let's oversee. And then, of course, you got to get your hands dirty per se. You know how to do that as well, so we
Yeah.
can get the job done. So, what's
Mhm.
one of the skills that you think is really compounding? We talked about this the other day over the past 10+ years
Yeah.
of you doing construction.
It's hunger for always wanting to better myself.
Yeah.
Is that it's initiative once you start something, and then I'm always the type that once I start something, I try to perfect my craft and always trying to be better at it. There's always room for improvement.
Yeah.
You fix one thing, there's something else that you can fix. It's endless.
Okay.
So
Okay.
and then it was for bettering myself and the hunger for success in my sense, to help people out. I've always been a helper. I've always been a giver.
Yeah.
So and then I've always thought about like,
And
oh,
when did you know
long-term,
you? When did you know you was a giver? Because that always, I
when
think that.
takers don't stop taking. So
Hey, motherfuckers start. They stick a knee in you. Say, listen, how much
yeah.
blood you got left?
Yeah.
Oh, you got enough to live, motherfucker. I need a little bit more.
Squeeze every dime. But
Every
yeah.
dime, man.
I've always thought about, because I got family back at Guatemala and stuff like that I've been trying to help out. My grandma from my mom's side mainly, and I got a big ass family like every Hispanic, and then just trying to be better myself so I can help them and whatever they need as well, and always give a helping hand. And
Yeah.
that's what that's part of my motivation too for success. It's not just about the money and the number. Numbers are endless, so we could keep going day in, day out, and never stop. But it's about helping other people for me.
And so, when do you think you would? Since it's not a number, when do you think you would? I don't want to say quit,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe change direction and see what else you could do.
When I see my family's in a better place, no bullshit.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And then when people say the help, and I've got to lean into this,
Yeah.
but in the black community, I've got to be candid in saying, niggas are asked for help, but I can't help by giving you something.
Mm-hmm.
What I can give you, oftentimes is an opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
and that will yield, you potentially learning something about yourself. Or in this case, at 14, you start mastering a skill,
Mm-hmm.
being around older guys, learning to do what they do, and then when you look at scale. You say, you drove up to the crib. You see this whole house, this whole community. Everyone probably in this community has one or two people that come and service their house if something goes wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a heating, water cooling cup. There's
There's a
something
lot
like
of things.
that. So what is the right way then, from a business standpoint and even life standpoint, to really help somebody? Because if you just give it to them,
Yeah.
you'll always be giving it to them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But like you said, it's about giving an opportunity, because I've had people who come up to me, even people that I've met at the gym that
Yeah.
they ask me, hey, I'm an electrician or I'm this or I'm that they're specialized in something. And I'm like, all right, we'll see. We'll do a small project and go from there. So it's about giving them an opportunity for them to better themselves, because a lot of immigrants come in here not knowing people, not knowing connections, not knowing a lot of things besides the skill that they have. And I just try to tell them if they're good at that, then I'll see what we can do. And
What's
partner
funny
up together.
is if you go back through history, when slaves were freed, there were about 100,000 artisans, and an artisan is someone who's got a skill, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you think about it, I don't know if I should even go down this road, but I'm saying that to say, because you said, hey, they come over here, they've got a skill, but they don't know how to market it.
Yeah.
And the time when we were freed, meaning black African, slaves, white people was not going to pay you to do a job that you was just doing for free.
Mm-hmm.
But they also couldn't do the job. So
That's
the
true.
way in which they leveraged and bartered was, oh, you can stay here and work. And that was that. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Come still work for free. We won't whoop your ass no more, even though we're going to whoop your
Oh,
ass if
my.
we can. But we don't technically have the skills. So they brought over more Caucasians so that they could then do the handiwork, if you would,
Yeah, yeah.
while continuing to manage, to stifle our growth. Because in facts is slavery existed.
Of course.
Facts is we did all the work. Facts is they managed, so how hard is it, would you say, based on people you've assisted from an immigrant standpoint, to really get over here and make a life for yourself? Because
Yeah.
that's the other thing. Hey, America's the land of the free, and anything's possible. How hard is that for somebody to come over from Guatemala and find success who does know nothing, nobody, barely speaks any English?
Yeah. In my personal opinion, I think it's pretty difficult going to another country that you don't even speak the language of. And then not only that, but you don't have connections, you don't know anybody. I think it's pretty difficult. I mean, I look at it from my standpoint, if I were to go to Europe and start something, I'm like, if you don't know anything, you
Know
don't
the
know
laws,
anyone,
all
yeah.
the shit you
So
got to know.
it's I think it's pretty difficult, in my personal opinion. But hats off to everyone who has done it, and including my father that came at a young age, started the business right out of high school and everything like that. So
Yeah.
it's I think it's pretty difficult.
I'm glad you said that because I mean you know you hear you hear the big stories of oh anything's possible,
Mm-hmm.
but not always. And I
Yeah, of
heard
course.
even D.L. Hughley say this about black people who are successful. He said, "You see someone who's black, and you would presume they are that they're the exception." He said, "No, they're the exception to the rule, because technically you're not supposed to be successful if you are a minority in this country.
Mm-hmm.
That's the case, right? In retrospect, and so you say, man, that's an interesting way to look at it because when you look at the percentage of African Americans who are successful, and I'm guessing too, for instance, I don't know if you know this number, but who's the richest Guatemalan in America?
No, I don't know that one.
Yeah, see, food for thought, right?
Yeah.
And then you say, man, what did he build? How many of us did he help? Did he do it on his own? Is he pouring money back into the community or
Yeah.
economy in Guatemala? But those are the questions I would ask if I was an immigrant coming over here. And then how big do I need to make of a difference do I need to make to really like give others this there's a door, right? And a lot of them are locked, as you're saying. They're locked like a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're locked, you don't speak the language, you don't know the policies, you barely can find a place to stay. You've got to work, $8-10 job until
Yeah.
you find someone like yourself who's willing to give it a chance. Where is the biggest opportunity in actually coming over here and paving or making a way?
Yeah.
And have you ever even talked to your dad about how difficult it was?
Partially,
Yeah.
not fully, but yeah, he's told me some stuff that you go through and shit like that, and there's down and up, and then also whenever he was starting up, well, not starting, but in the middle of the business, shit happens, and then the '08 crash and all that. So I mean, you can start something, but doesn't necessarily mean it's
Go
gonna
ahead,
be
Jamar's gonna give us a little statistic here.
Mario Lopez Estrada worth $1 billion, and he did it via telecommunications
In America.
in America. Yeah,
And see, now we got to go read about what this guy does. But you just
wars and everything.
that's so. Look, you didn't know that dude existed, right?
good. No, I ain't gonna lie.
No, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But even as I'm not going to tell you that Carlos Young, but when I think scale, I always think about the big picture. And
Mhm.
when I do, I said it on my story, I do a lot of profiling people and profiling FBI. What all did they do? What all did they go through? How many interviews can I find? What can I learn? Did they say something impactful? And even in day 2 of me profiling Tyler Perry, I would tell you this. He said when he took Sidney Poitier and Cicely Tyson to some countries, like I wanted to take these people who were super influential and fought the good fight and been on TV as African Americans through a rough time, because the 60s ain't too long ago.
Mhm.
The 50s ain't too long ago. Segregation ain't too long ago.
Yeah.
And he said, I asked him, what's something, not that they regret, but maybe they wish were different. And Cicely said something so profound that she doesn't believe that they left enough for us to fight for. So you think as a culture, a community, it was like the Black Panthers and then boom, it's all gone.
Mhm.
Martin Luther King, boom, he's all the fighting's gone. And not the fighting, but like, boom, Malcolm X. Nothing is like, what happened? It's like overnight, there was no reason to keep being different or being black or being anybody for that matter. Oh, you ain't got to be nothing, just assimilate.
Mhm.
And a quote that is famous and realistically, I think that's why they killed Martin Luther King was, he said after he really looked at assimilation and segregation and wanting to fight for these things, right? He believed he walked his people into a burning building because there were black Hollywood, there were black cab companies, there were black buses. And once you assimilate, all of them went away because you want to go do white things. Food for thought right now. Let me just pour. So all of your opportunities and your wealth, it's gone because you wanted to participate in this grander idea where you're never going to be included in retrospect. So when I'm looking at the bigger picture, I say, man, that's interesting. A Guatemalan went and built a telecommunications company, which tech, as we know, is fucking limitless in terms of what you could do profitability. But housing in too, and housing can help you make big investments in tech and other things that help you basically scale your portfolio. Are there other things that you're trying to learn about in terms of investment as well?
Just get more deeper into the multifamily. There's a lot to it. There's tax things that I'm new to and all
Yeah.
these things through multifamily and stuff like that. Just a deeper down to the nitty gritty and learn underwriting and stuff like that. So just deeper into it because it's new to me. I just started about a year ago.
Yeah.
And then we invested in 3 properties so far. So, but
Eh.
I'm just trying to, as a limited partner, I'm trying to be a general partner in the future with somebody, partner up with good people and stuff like that. But it's a learning game. Like everything in life, it's a learning game.
And when do you see, let's say you put 50 bands up into, a multi, when do you begin to see return on investment?
Yes, you get passive right away.
Okay.
I mean, fairly quickly. It's not. I mean, the big money doesn't come to the end, but typically it's fairly quickly with some passive.
And the big money meaning it sells one day.
Yeah, when you sell it,
So
exactly.
keep this in mind, people. Let me paint this picture. Carlo puts $50,000. They build. How many places are in this multifamily?
It depends. I mean, there's no really like a limit that you can go with multifamily.
Give me a number. Give me a magical number.
But to buy 200 units,
So look, he buys 200 units. Most people put 50,000. If you got $50,000 now, you would go and save it. He says, I'm going to invest it in something where everybody's going to pay. So even though he doesn't get his 50 back right away, he's getting a check right away, technically, if people live in there,
yeah, of course.
on the $50,000. So it never feels like the money's sitting still. And then one day, if some beautiful things, let's say you built a fucking multifamily over here in this legacy area, you go, oh God, that didn't exist, but we built multifamily. Oh, the fucking price just went up 100,000%. And so one day somebody says, hey, look, we want to buy this thing. You say, oh, I'm so glad to talk to you.
Yeah.
And then you sell it for 10 times what you originally paid.
Yeah, I mean, you can get paid up front because there's acquisition fees and there's a lot of things that you can get paid off of. If you found the deal, you can get paid for that as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that you can get paid for.
Man, dude. And that's a whole nother topic in a sense, not realistically, but just because we're talking about how do you make money, not how do you make money sit still. And some people wanted to sit in the couch. It's like, my man.
This inflation is real.
Hey, some of y'all won't remember, but I remember my mama pulling up to the gas station when gas was 98 cents, boy. You know what a 98 cents, boy, a
Must be
gallon?
nice, yeah.
A gallon, nigga? A gallon? So if you had to then pass on advice, to those that are trying to find success or be successful, man, what would be some things that maybe you tell them to do? Because I love that you said you're learning. I think that's the beauty about this whole thing called life.
Yeah.
And it starts with one idea. And if you're smart, the idea gets better and bigger. So what would be your best advice, man?
To, and the lack of better words, I mean, to thug it out sometimes. Because it's not always pretty. It's not always easy. It's just that whenever you're determined to get to your goal, nothing can stop you. Once you're determined, it doesn't matter if you fall, whatever happens. But as long as you keep grinding on what you want, I mean, it's just, you'll be unstoppable at that point.
And what do you think is the hardest part about, kind of building a business or even thugging it out per se?
Oh man, there's a lot that goes into it.
Well, I mean, you've got some real life experience. I mean, what have been some challenges that you face?
Challenges is like clients can be a certain way that they're
Ain't
trying
that
to,
awful?
Yeah, they're trying to scam, or you got the worker that's trying to scam. You
What's the best scam somebody tried to run on you guys when you were trying to help them fix their fucking house?
Fucking chargebacks and some bullshit that's saying that we didn't complete the job and we did, but then you have to take it to legal stuff and it gets ugly, unfortunately. But there's just shady people. It's not even about the contractor or the consumers. It's just shady people in general.
Isn't that crazy, man?
Yeah, so they just
somebody
try
had
to
you
take
come do a
advantage.
job and then try to get a rebate.
Yeah, so it's just a bunch of bullshit, but it's good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That's just the bad stuff. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's always a good thing working for yourself, being self-employed and stuff like that. So I can't complain. I've 1 or 2 clients, I can't. At 100 good clients and I got 2 bad ones. I mean, that's not that bad.
And that's business and
Exactly.
in life too, man. Not every experience is going to be a good one, and not every experience is going to be the way you want it to be,
Of course.
or turn into something. Some things just are what they are, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's one of your best experiences that you had?
Closing big deals, and when it's easy. Whenever you do commercial, it's easier than residential, because residential, you got these picky clients over small projects, and then when you're doing commercial, you're just doing painting exterior. I mean, it's simpler whenever you do bigger projects, in my experience at least.
Damn.
Whenever you do commercial, bigger money, they're less bitchy at you and stuff like that. So it's just easy, man. It just flows.
And outside of getting some nice checks here and there, what's one of the things that really continued to keep you believing that this was the path you're supposed to walk?
Helping out people around me. I give them a job and give them opportunity. And there's people who we've grown together as business partners, and there's people who weed themselves out. I mean, that's like anything else.
Yeah. So you basically enjoy the process of getting to know the nature of a person even.
Yeah, and learning and everything. There's stuff that I could do myself and stuff like that whenever I buy my home soon in the future and stuff like that. There's things that I could just change out right away, and it's good. It teaches you a lot. It teaches you a lot.
Okay. Well, I got to say this too, people.
Yeah.
You know, I don't call a lot of people friend, but I could tell you Carlo's definitely a friend, man. And I got to tell him, you know, from a character standpoint, it's like a slow motion moment at times. But I remember walking into the gym with you at 20 at Fitness Connection, and I remember you holding the door for somebody, and I said, man, that's a good dude. And it wasn't the holding the door. It wasn't some chick. It was just like, I think it was an elderly person, but I began to compound in my mind as I continued to see, you know, us hang out per se. And you say, man, this dude, he's got a good nature about him. He's definitely careful, and careful in a way where he's like, caring is what I mean specifically. Like, yo, this dude actually cares about, you know, the little things that I think are scalable. And those are manners a lot of times even.
Yeah.
And just being a respectable human being, man. Where would you say you learned that from?
My parents.
Yeah.
For sure, my parents. And then as I grow up, call me corny, call me what you want, but this world needs more love. So,
Hey,
yeah.
I'm not gonna call you nothing other than honest. And that's definitely one of the other topics we'll talk about. A couple things, you know, relationships, being, you know, how difficult it is to be a man, and you know, my quote that I really do enjoy and try to live by even myself is Martin Luther King said, "I decided to stick with love because hate is too great of a burden to bear." And I had to know, I know hate at the highest and worst levels day in and day out. So you go, I don't know if I want to, that energy, godly, it's so consuming and draining and stressful.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to tell you I'm the most loving person, because I'm not, but I try to be respectful, you know, kind and considerate, you know, two of the things I try to stand on. And kind don't mean I'm gonna kiss your ass, but kind is, you know, low, hey, long as we're speaking, hi, kiki, and whatever, I'm cool.
Yeah.
But to say the least, I agree with you 1,000% that the world does need more joy, and it does need, unfortunately, you know, more love. And I'm not a family person, but I'm guessing what I've learned is it needs more community, man.
Yeah.
Like, where's the community, even for men? I've been putting up these kind of like funny but dead ass quotes where these men are at an all-time low of having friends and, you know, dealing with forms of depression. And I go, God, Lee, I've either gotten too good at being by my fucking self or, yeah, I'm just too good at being by myself. But I don't know if that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that every time I've called Carlo and asked for assistance or help, and that doesn't define our friendship, because, you know, he'd come over, I cook, we hang out.
Yeah.
That's the least, like we didn't spend days together kicking it. You know what I mean? So I'm always glad to have access to your brain and your network even, and continue to learn myself. Because I don't know shit about construction, but I do know that this is a good dude, man. Is there anything you want to leave him with before we check out of this one? Let me see where we at. Oh, that's a good 22, because the next one's going to be a solid 30, if not longer. But have you ever done podcasts before?
No.
Oh, shit.
No.
You've never done a fucking podcast?
No.
I thought he was on one that we've done.
Nah,
No, but it was one with you.
Oh,
Before. It
Oh,
was
you
a
did?
while ago with Ronnie, Jamarcus.
Oh, shit. Yeah, okay.
It was just one.
Was it at my place?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, shit. We had...
It's been a minute, though.
Back in the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. You know, so Carlo, one of the things that I tell you, you kind of already answered in general what we asked. This is the Unmotivated Podcast. So what keeps you motivated, man?
A hard today makes it easier tomorrow. So just grind today so my days tomorrow can be different and easier and better.
There you go, man. There you
And
go.
stuff
Well,
like
guys, listen, this guy does a lot of investment stuff. He's learning how to continue to be a great individual. I've always it's been a pleasure knowing this guy, and you know, even the excitement I get when other people get to meet you and you get to come and hang out. And you know, you've got a stoic face, so it looks very stale all the time. It's like if resting bitch face was a dude, this dude's face is that. You'd be like, this motherfucker don't like nothing. And then when he starts cracking up, his eyes shut like an Asian, even though he's Hispanic. and the dimples, you like, oh, this motherfucker, he laughs. Damn, I didn't think this motherfucker was. So I've got to say, he does look like a spook half the time, but he's a nice guy.
I get that a lot too. I'm stoic as hell, but I'm friendly. I'm nice. I'm very respectful, like you said earlier, and stuff like that. It's just whenever you meet somebody and then you really get to know how they are.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and those are behaviors. It's funny because I tell the story all the time. I got a kid named Jack who's one of my favorites, and I almost put this kid out. I got to be honest with you. I go, dude, that Jack, he's a weirdo, man. I don't know about this kid. And Rock goes, what? Jack's funny as hell. And I was like, huh? Maybe I'm missing something. And so when I went and spent some more time with Jack, I was like, oh, this motherfucker just like me. No wonder.
Just don't like people.
Hey, this motherfucker. Well, he was always there with us, but you go, he's literally just like me. And you go, and he's a white kid at that. So I go, this makes more sense. I couldn't see it, but at the same time, you know, I didn't used to provide a lot of grace. I mean, grace doesn't mean give nobody time to fuck me over, but you know, if I see one thing, I'm like, and it's not I didn't like. He was fucking 16 years old. You know, what's a fucking 16-year-old gonna do to somebody who's helping train kids? Nothing. But point is Jack was definitely a blast to say the least, man. And he's probably one of the best humans I've ever met, and everyone always loves Jack, including myself. So I appreciate you and your time, man. This is one of one. We've got another one we're going to do with our guy Carlo, and we're going to get into life, relationships. Better Best Dog is going to sit in. Stay tuned, people. Keep taking care of your dog, and as I always say now, stay fucking motivated.